So what would happen if it were all gone? What would happen if...
It's all gone. I have a lot of debt, though, I'll tell you that, and it's going to take probably a year to two of... I've been working like 100... I've been working every single minute, except for sleeping and spending a little bit of time with my kids, just working, trying not to go bankrupt.
But what would happen if it were all gone? What would happen if you were bankrupt? What would happen? What would happen? What would be different if you just let go? If you just said, it has spun out of control. It's bigger than I am. It's a confluence of the perfect storm. It was a sequence of events over which I have no active control. What would happen?
Well, similar to the...
What
would happen?
What would be different for you in terms of activity, in terms of action, in terms of stuff? What would be different? You see, we don't think much would be different. We don't think much would change from where you are. The difference is you're holding to this shame that you're talking about. You're holding to this perception of who you should be. And now you're using that as the club to beat yourself up.
I'd never in my life imagined that I couldn't repay a debt that I incurred. And even it's like, if I die, would I repay the banks on a short sale? I don't want to, I just never in my life could dream this. And that could be fine.
Let's step back just a little bit. And we had you've been wanting to visit with us for a while. And we had today a conversation that we know laid the basis for an understanding for you that if it's firmly in place, then we can take this discussion for you to a different place than it has been before. And it was the discussion about the physical reality, the what-isness of the current markets, the current existence of assets, the current stuff that equals the economics of this time-space reality, as compared to the vibrational stuff which will equal the future assets and the future manifestations. In other words, the splitting up of this pie is one thing. The splitting up of this vibrational pie is another thing altogether. So we just want to ask you some questions just to sort of bring you into a place of not being so hard on yourself, and maybe even a place of getting you on the verge or even into the vortex relative to this subject. So just relax. Don't try to anticipate what we're going to ask, and just let the answers flow forth from you as we present them to you. And we'll do our best to ask brief, easy questions, and you do your best to offer brief, simple answers. Do you think that the economics of your nation are healthy right now?
For technology companies, yes. So no. But if you're in technology,
brief
yes.
is good. Brief is really good.
Okay, no.
So, do you believe that the people who are managing things like the value of the gold standard or the stock market baselines or the do you think the people that are in the places of authority, whether you can identify who they are or not, do you think that they have a handle on the global economy? Do you think that there is any entity or any mind who understands it all?
Well, an entity, I would give it to you folks, but
We're talking about a
physical entity.
A physical person who
Right.
is in the position of making decisions.
Collectively, yes. I don't know of any individual person.
So,
If you figuratively mean me,
in terms
then-
of the vortex, there's collective knowledge,
Right.
and it's conceivable to you that there could be enough gathering of momentum and cooperative components that it could be sorted out. But as far as any one person who understands what's really happening, what would you say, yes or no?
I would say no.
We would agree. Now,
You agree that I would say no?
we agree that there is not one person, and we are pleased that you say no, because that means we have a chance together here.
Okay. I keep trying.
So now we have more questions for you. Do you believe that the debt that your nation has amassed is something that in your lifetime can be paid off by your nation? No. And the reason that we ask that question is because if you put together all the people in the nation, 100% of them, and you ask them to collectively deal with the debt that they have collectively amassed, regardless of who made the decisions or who got you where you are, regardless of who spent the money, regardless of who's got the money, regardless of who owes who what, the debt is bigger than your ability to pay in a generation or two or three. The debt is bigger. The debt is bigger. We think it would be well for you to let yourself off the hook for your paltry little part of this debt. If all of the king's horses and all of the king's men so why won't you?
Because I felt like maybe before I started this studying of this stuff, I was more of an abundant feeler. So if you ask me, could the nation pay off this debt in a lifetime? I would say from an abundant standpoint, yes, it all flows. It comes, it goes, anything's possible. I would say yes. And that almost resonates with me. And, but since having the teachings, I feel like just restrained, or I have to go to the next logical step. And so as a result, I feel that I don't really care what the other part of the nation does. I'm just looking for a solution here. That's all. And I want to repay my debt, and that's that. But it's going to be painful, and I don't know how much more I can take. So, but I feel like I've lost I used to kind of click stuff and it would come, and now I'm just like, I'm impotent. I just can't produce, honestly. So.
Well, the good news is you don't have to. The good news is it can't get so bad that you can't exist to be. And once it reaches the place that it's so bad that you are no longer fighting, it will begin improving right away. And if it would make you feel better, we are really all right with you just explaining to anyone that you were thriving in your life, and then you came across some teachings that encouraged you to be the creator of your own reality, and that as you began to apply them, you found yourself confused, that the two worlds that you were living in, one foot in a physical world with a lot of people pushing against a lot of things, and another foot in an invisible, seemingly non-physical world, just left you so disoriented that you lost your place, and that you credit your complete loss of guidance, loss of beingness, loss of earnings, and loss of assets to having dabbled in the teachings of Abraham. and that you've decided that you are going to withdraw yourself from any of those thought processes with the powerful intention of regaining your balance. And then say to the IRS, I have nothing more to give you, but you're welcome to anything that you see here. And then just get on with your life in the meaningful way that you are reaching for. Because it does not matter in what way you fashion an out for yourself, but you must fashion an out for yourself. You've got to find a way of making your world work for you. And it is not important to us what way you choose. In fact, you can throw us and everything we teach under the bus, and if it makes you feel better, it was a good plan.
I'm not going to do that, but I just found that I'm just not going to do it.
But you see the quagmire you have yourself in? You say, this isn't working for me, but I can't let it go, but it isn't working for me, but I can't let it go. And at some point, you just have to decide that you're just going to stop the struggle. That's really what we would like. If we could energetically give you a sort of timeout, we would. Where you just for a little while stop trying so hard, because we know, you see, we have the benefit of the long view. We know that what you've lived has put something in the vortex, and we know that when you croak, which as you said earlier doesn't seem like such a terrible idea, that you will be refreshed, you will regain your full understanding. And so it is our desire that you be refreshed without croaking. It is our desire that you be refreshed, which just means you just need a different way of looking at things. So why not choose a way of looking at things that makes you feel better? Why not say, Jerry and Esther know several people, very upstanding people who lost their houses in this year. People who live in their neighborhood in Del Mar, people who were acquaintances through other people in Del Mar, one or two people like you who have been coming to these gatherings that they've gotten to know, a very dear friend that they've gotten to know through some other, and what they noticed about them in every case was they were well-meaning people who found themselves in a situation that was bigger than their capacity to do something with it in terms of action. And we are trying to say to you that much of your economy is standing in that place where the action that you were accustomed to offering isn't enough action to carry you to where you want to be. But you just have to decide somehow that you're going to let yourself off the hook. You're an attorney. You tell us, why do bankruptcy laws exist? What's the purpose of them?
I don't do bankruptcy law. I do
but
personal injury law. But you are smart
enough to know what
But
is
I would
the
say
purpose?
that would keep people from doing self-help of something violent to get their money back. You use the court system and then you call it a day.
So it's a way
to say it's the final word on a piece of debt. It's saying this debt, there's no realistic way that this debt is going to be repaid, and you're wasting your time chasing it. And you can stop harassing the person. The person's value is above the debt's value.
And so don't. Truer words have never been spoken. Now what?